This past week, the World Health Organization confirmed a swine flu outbreak in the U.S. Geneva, the World Health Organization, voiced concerns today at a confirmed outbreak of swine flu in the United States of what is called more than 800 human influenza-like cases in Mexico, including about 60 deaths. The United Nations agency said it had activated its Strategic Health Operations, its Command and Control Center for acute public health events, but would not say whether it was considering issuing a travel advisory, which this may have changed since yesterday. The U.S. public health officials said on Thursday that 7 people had been diagnosed with a new kind of swine flu in California and Texas, while Mexican authorities were due to announce test results later today. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention said the virus was a never-before-seen mixture of viruses, typically among pigs, birds, and humans. All 7 American patients have recovered. So here again, this is a mix of pig, bird, and human flu. Don't sound like that just happens randomly, does it? Could that possibly be happening in a lab somewhere? Because as we reported just mere weeks ago, Baxter Pharmaceuticals sent out to 18 countries a flu vaccine with avian flu virus live in it, Brian. So this is main news right now. I heard it this morning. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, it's definitely unusual and raises some suspicions also. Paul Joseph Watson had reported yesterday that it was 1976 when the last swine flu outbreak was reported, and that came out of Fort Dix.
Brian, we got Virginia Fox on the line.
No.
It is. I apologize. We was having just a little bit of technical difficulty. I'm glad to have you on with us and for bearing with us there just a little bit. Well, I wanted to begin today. I wanted to ask you about the Department of Homeland Security has released an assessment report entitled "Right-Wing Extremism: Current Economic and Political Climate Fueling a Resurgence in Radicalization and Recruitment." The Department of Homeland Security had sent this report to law enforcement, and it names those that oppose same-sex marriage or a one-world government or a gun control or the suspension of the Constitution as possible terrorist threats. And I just wanted to get your opinion on this. It appears that the Barack Obama administration, the government, is now considering those that stand for true freedom terrorist threats, those of us that participated like in the Tea Party event last week. So I just like to get your opinion on this that was sent out by the DOH.
I think the fact that I am opposed to the federal government takeover of every aspect of our lives, that doesn't make me an extremist. It makes me a patriot.
Amen.
And the Constitution would not have been ratified in the beginning if it hadn't been for the 10th Amendment, because what those people feared is exactly what's happening right now.
And we have seen Obama in his short time in office really abandon practically all of his campaign promises, bringing the troops home, transparency, giving 5 days for everyone to read new legislation. He opposed NAFTA and GATT during the campaign, no earmarks, no lobbyists in his administration. He's done a 180 on all these promises, and he's filled his cabinet with the same old faces and Wall Street big shots. Does he represent the American people, or is he doing the bidding of elite bankers and those that want to move us into a global one-world economy?
Well, you know, I think that he is beholden to several groups of people. He's beholden to the unions. That's number one. The trial lawyers and the radical environmentalists, and then you add to that these people who are in control of Wall Street. I don't think they're actually in control, Sam. That's one of the problems. They're players in Wall Street, but they're not in control. They're simply trying to be in control, because right now everything they're doing is sort of backfiring too. They're not able to get done with the economy what they want to do. The economy is just sort of going many different ways, but they're certainly trying to do it.
We're coming up on a break, Ms. Fox. Hang on, and we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Virginia, I saw a email the other day saying the number one gun salesman in the history of the world, and you scroll down, you saw a big picture of none other than Barack Obama.
Yeah. I know. I've seen those reports about how gun sales have soared since he was elected. And I will tell you, I share the concerns of the people who are doing that, because it is very clear that this man wants government to control every aspect of our lives, And whatever they think is bad, they're going to do their best to do away with. And owning a gun, they think is bad. Whatever they think is good, government controls schools, government control of children, government control of health care, rationing health care, increasing the opportunities for abortion. All of those things they think are good, they're going to increase. And so I am quite concerned with the direction this country is going in. We have to do something to turn the anger and concern of the people at the Tea Parties into real action. That is, registering the right people to vote. This is how the Democrats got in control. They registered people to vote. They got them to the polls. We have to do the same thing to counteract that.
We'll be coming up on a break, Ms. Fox, in about 2 minutes. We organized our Tea Party here in Statesville, Brian and myself, and we only had 9 days to do it, and we were just amazed that we had 200 people or so show up, and people really are concerned with where the federal government is taking us. When we come back after the break, I want to ask you, all the money that the Obama administration has allocated toward this financial meltdown, I can't understand, how is this going to put Cone Mills here in Statesville back to work, the people at Freightliner back to work? It seems that bankers have the money and they're holding it, and the Federal Reserve doesn't tell who has the money or how much or why, and I don't see how it's going to trickle down. We've got to manufacture stuff in this country to get our economy back going, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Okay.
Go ahead. We've got about 60 seconds before we go to break.
Oh, you want me to go ahead? Well, you're absolutely right. Nothing that they have done. In fact, they work at counter purposes. What we're hearing from bankers is that the regulators are going in and really picking on them, going through their portfolios, telling them that they can't loan more money, even going in and getting individuals, identifying individual companies, individual people, and saying, you got to call in this line of credit, you got to call in that line of credit. When we talk to regulators, they say they're not doing that, but too many bankers are saying that. So while they're putting out all this money, they're at the same time saying don't loan.
We're going to break.
Mixed messages.
Just hang on to that thought, and we'll be back with you in 3 minutes, Ms. Fox.
Okay.